Late night in San Diego. It's the Padres and the Yankees. New York bouncing back to split a 4-game series in the midweek with Seattle. So the Yankees now have won 9 of their last 11 games as they make the long trip to San Diego. The Pinstripes booked as a slight road favorite, -116, with Carlos Rodon on the bump. The over-under, 7.5. Yu Darvish was sensational in his last start, -102 on the money line for the Padres. DRS, full cross-country trip for the Yanks, who played, albeit a day baseball game, but a game yesterday, no off day in between. Will that have an effect on this outcome tonight in San Diego?
I don't know if I have an effect overall just the way we put it there, but if we just take a look at the lineups here, one lineup coming in absolutely red hot in the Yankees. The other lineup here for the San Diego Padres against left-handed pitching, absolutely ice cold. So you're starting right there. But let's take a look at the pitching matchups and where that makes sense. Yu Darvish, as you pointed out, sensational. You want to take a look at the last 30 days? Fantastic. You want to take a look at the full season? Fantastic. But also, right-handed pitching, the Yankees, Ben, have absolutely feasted on that. Look at the top 6 guys in this lineup, which I love for the New York Yankees, typically on a night-to-night basis. Volpe, Soto, Judge, Verdugo, Stanton, and Rizzo. ISO power numbers here, 198, 325. Aaron Judge, 417, 230, 243, and 225, respectively, over the last 30 days. The Yankees are it. But then again, we just told you how good Yu Darvish has been. We're also not playing in the Bronx, which means like, oh, look at this. Maybe 80-degree temperatures on the East Coast, little humidity baked in, maybe a wind blowing out in the True Hitters ballpark. You're playing out there at Petco, and that is not a great ballpark to hit at. And tonight's temperatures, 63 degrees with a wind that is blowing in. If we flip it over to San Diego at the plate, they haven't hit left-handed pitching all that well. However, Carlos Rodon has struggled with right-handed batters over the past month. The problem is everybody in that lineup has been struggling against lefties here. The only bright spot, Jurickson Profar, the 273 ISO power number through 35 at-bats against left-handed pitching. That's your RBI look. But if you hear what I'm saying to you tonight, it's probably an under game.
Listen, Yu Darvish has been incredible. He has won his last 4 starts. He is 4-1 this year with a 2.08 ERA. His last 4 starts, he has not allowed a single earned run. Not a single earned run in 24 innings of work. In fact, the Padres have won the game overall in his last 6 starts. I find it slightly intriguing. San Diego is the underdog. Now we go to the Trop, where the Rays on a 4-game skid. The Royals, red hot. KC has won 6 straight with a day off, entering today in Tampa. And the Royals with Seth Lugo, who has also been great for Kansas City this year, a slight road favorite. What do you make of the matchup today in the Trop?
By the way, Seth Lugo is the better pitcher on the mound, and quite frankly, you hit that there. 258 batters he's faced on the season, a 137 ISO, and a weighted on base percentage of 269. He's been even better over the past 30 days. And when you take a look at that Tampa Bay Rays lineup, which over the past couple of years has been quality against right-handed pitching for the past 30 days, they've been an absolute disaster. So you do get a little bit of a thumb up here for the Kansas City Royals on that edge. But let's take a look at Sean Armstrong, due to be on the mound today for Tampa. You look at his last 30 days, it's been abysmal against left-handed batters, people. When you're talking about the Kansas City Royals, it's a couple of left-handed batters that we typically like. However, let's take a set aside our fandom for the Pasquatch, Vinny Pasquantino. Over the last 30 days, 81 at-bats against right-handed pitching hasn't been all that good. A 118 ISO and a 263 weighted on base percentage. But you know the other left-handed batter I love in that lineup? It's Michael Massey. 70 at-bats. How about this? A 239 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 368. He will definitely make my card for an RBI opportunity. But sometimes we talk about just the opportunity with players on base. If you look at Vinny P, we don't actually need a base hit to get an RBI. Why? Michael Garcia, Bobby Witt. 336, 383 weighted on base percentages. Those guys should be on the pond by the time Vinny P gets up. So maybe an opportunity, but my best one, it's Michael Massey. And quite frankly, I would just lay it with the Kansas City Royals tonight. They're the better ball club.
We're just Royals guys. It really is what it is. KC this year, 32 victories, 32-19. It took them till the end of July to win 30 games last year on a torrid pace. But still a game and a half behind Cleveland for that top spot in the American League Central, despite the Royals winning 6 in a row, because the Guardians have also won 6 in a row. Cleveland a slight favorite tonight in Anaheim, where Donnie thinks I grew up, against the Angels, -110 for Cleveland. Will it be 7 straight tonight for the Guardians?
Orange County Ben, that's the new moniker around these parts here. Let's take a look at the Los Angeles Angels starting pitcher Patrick Sandoval, the lefty on the mound. He's been really good, man. 225 batters he's faced on the season, an ISO of 0.99 combined, and a weighted on base percentage right around average at 321. But in the past 30 days, unhittable, it feels like, Ben. 122 batters faced, an 0.87 ISO and a 285 weighted on base percentage. That is absolutely fantastic. And take a look at that Guardians lineup. Not all that great here against left-handed pitchers. If there was one guy you picked out that has done very well, it's David Fry with a 550 ISO through 27 at-bats against left-handed pitching. But as I said, this guy, Sandoval, has been really, really good. Flip it over to the other side with chances for maybe RBIs. Logan Allen hasn't been that great. Elevated numbers on ISO power numbers around 170, which is average, but the weighted on base percentage is 367 through 108 batters he's faced if we combine left-handed and right-handed batters. If we're looking at the lineup tonight, the leadoff batter, Chenot, 278. You take a look at Pilar, 350. Take a look at Adele, 591. Those guys probably should be in your lineup tonight. And I think Nolan Shanuel, I believe, is the correct pronunciation on this one. I bet him a couple times. I haven't watched him live to get that, response from the PA announcer, but that guy should be on your roster tonight.
Yeah, absolutely so. The pronunciation guide will follow. Tonight in Oakland, the Astros head to take on the what is it?
Shanuel. I'm learning it on the fly here as we go.
Shanuel. Well done. Well done. Houston tonight in Oakland, by the way. It's the Stros versus the A's. Mm-hmm. The Astros have won 8 of their last 10, but they did lose their midweek series 2 of 3 against those Halos. But Houston, a hefty road favorite tonight in Oakland. Justin Verlander on the bump. Will the Astros get a victory?
Yeah, the Astros should be in a good spot tonight. And again, you've seen 15 miles an hour blowing out in Oakland. That's every night, people. Don't get excited like, wow, the wind's really blowing out the center field. It's just what it does there. Cooler temperatures each and every night as well. Take a look at Ross Stripling on the mound. He has struggled a bit with left-handed batters with weighted on base percentage. There's no better left-handed batter in Major League Baseball right now than Kyle Tucker. This is what you're supposed to have after 10 at-bats. He's got 76 at-bats over the last month here against right-handed pitching. 559 ISO power number. He is a must, Ben, in your lineup tonight for an RBI.
I've got an important update about Nolan Shanuel next. So we have the official pronunciation of the Angels player Nolan Shanuel. Shanuel. I appreciate you trying to give a little bit of flavor to it, Shanuel, but just Shanuel for your guy. What did you like tonight? RBI prop in that game for the Halos?
Yeah, a couple RBI guys there, man.
Okay.
Like it's going to be Manuel. Manuel. There you go.
I like that. I mean, listen, not the worst idea in the world. All right, now we keep it rolling. NL Central duel this weekend under the arch in St. Louis. The Redbirds playing pretty good right now. The Cubbies just lost their midweek set in the rubber match yesterday at home against the Braves. But if you need to win a game, Shota Imanaga is your guy. The Cubbies and Imanaga, a road favorite in the Lou today, minus 142. What can we expect out of Imanaga tonight against St. Louis?
Yeah, if I could activate my, little roadcaster right here to have that soundboard up, we'd be having the alerts going off left and right. Why? You might get a no-hitter tonight. How about that of the show to Imanaga? He's been that dominant on the season. 209 batters facing 0.55 ISO and a weighted on-base percentage of 221. How about the walk ratio against lefties? He's faced 47 of them this year. Hasn't walked a single one of those, yet striking out 28% of those batters. He's been phenomenal. Now, you say to yourself, okay, takes a pitcher and takes a lineup here to match up. The lineup today, Nootbaar, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Herrera, Carlson, Donovan, Pages, and Ciani. All are absolutely horrendous against left-handed pitching. Take a look at these ISO power numbers: 094, 037, 038, 056, 0, 086, 0, and 143. The only bright spot is Mason Wynn at the leadoff spot at a 265. If he gets behind Mr. Wynn, it should be smooth sailing tonight. Now let's flip it over to the Chicago side and say, well, it takes 2 to tango, which means my guy can throw a no-hitter, but we got to be able to score some runs. Should be able to do that against Miles Michaelis today. Struggling against lefties, struggling against righties. A decent top 4, Talkman, Suzuki, Bellinger, and Morel. They should all get base hits with legitimate RBI opportunities. This should be a runaway victory for the Chicago Cubs tonight. It's a great matchup for them.
It's a pretty good price on the money line as well. Minus 142. Imanaga this year, 5-0 with a 0.84 ERA. 5-0 with a .84 ERA. That, of course, is the best in Major League Baseball. He has also started 9 games for Chicago. They're 8-1 straight up in those 9. And you're not paying that hefty of a tax on that -142 number. Love that look tonight in St. Louis. The Reds at the bottom of the National League Central. And today in Cincy, the Reds are hosting the Dodgers. LA a -158 favorite, total at 9.5. What do you like tonight in the Great American Ballpark?
Sooner than later, James Paxton is going to get hit around. He's playing with a little bit of fire. Take a look at the analytical numbers. XFIP minus on the card today, Ben. If we take a look at pitchers over the first 60 days of Major League Baseball season with at least 20 innings pitched, he's 27th out of 27 on the card today, but has one of the better ERAs at 2.84. It doesn't make sense. It just means he's getting lucky, which you don't strike out enough batters and you walk too many people, but you still do have to have an offense that's going to be able to capitalize on that. And I don't know if we get that out of the Reds today. Tyler Stevenson in the middle of that lineup. Stuart Fairchild is going to bat right around 7th. The only positive batters I see in the lineup against left-handed pitching, at least over the past 30 days. Then we flip it over to the Dodgers and say, if I could just get a competent effort here out of Paxton, which he has been, non-analytical numbers, Graham Ashcraft should be able to get hit from the left-hand side. And when we talk about left-handed batters over the past 30 days, you got 2 of the best of them right here sitting on the Dodgers. That's Shohei Ohtani, 75 at-bats with a 303 ISO power number. Freddie Freeman, 74 at-bats with a 262 weighted on base percentage. The Dodgers should win this game, but I am waiting for the bottom to fall out on James Paxton, which hasn't happened yet. Maybe it does tonight. It just doesn't look great from a Reds perspective. That's all.
Cutter Crawford has been great for the Red Sox. Boston at home in Fenway hosting the Brewers. -138 on the money line in favor of Boston. Total at 9.5. I like Cutter Crawford. He's been great this year. And the Red Sox a home money line favorite. What say you, DRS?
Yeah, probably lean a little bit to the Sox tonight. Like that lineup there. Duran's been great. Abreu's been great. Devers has been great. That should be enough to lead him. And also keep in mind, 75 degrees tonight in Boston with the wind blowing out to right field at 9 miles an hour. Advantage to left-handed batters. So again, Duran, Abreu, and Devers here. We'll see if they can get down to business. But it does technically, based on the numbers between both the pitchers and the hitters, probably lean more towards an under, but it's a good hitting environment up there at Fenway tonight. No doubt about that.
Got some good weather entering this holiday weekend here around the East Coast. I'll be at Citi Field tomorrow. We'll be cooking up a best bet for the Mets and the Giants. You know, Donnie Rightside will be involved as well.